Hello, thanks for joining us. As we go to air, we're still waiting on the final word from the Supreme Court today to know whether we can bring you the story about a certain Sydney publican. Tonight, we do have a special report on the place where street kids are murdered night after night, and usually by police. And council junkets, how your rates are paying for their fun in the sun.
And I have no qualms about having gone. To wake up to find that on the front page was probably a bit of a shock, but I am not embarrassed about it at all.
I think they should feel disgusted, and it's high time that politicians start listening to the local people.
Well, what's sunbaking, snorkelling and cruising the Great Barrier Reef got to do with responsible local government? Plenty, according to the Sydney councils involved in a week-long conference in Cairns to discuss parks and recreation issues. But local ratepayers who end up footing the bill aren't so sure. As Chris Smith reports, many want to know exactly how these tropical getaways benefit their communities.
I think they should feel disgusted. I think it's time for them to stand up and let the elected representatives know exactly how they...
Chris Smith reporting, and we'll be back in a moment with my report on the street kids of Brazil, where they're murdered in their hundreds each year, mostly by police. In a moment. We've just heard word from the Supreme Court that a temporary injunction has been issued to stop us showing you our advertised story involving a Sydney publican. We'll be fighting that order in court to ensure we can bring you that report, hopefully tomorrow. It's tough enough for Australian children who are forced to live on the streets, but imagine a place where street kids are literally fair game, murdered by those they would normally turn to for help. Well, that place is Brazil, where thousands and thousands of children risk their lives at the hands of the death squads, police who roam the streets on a terrible mission. I filmed this report on my recent trip to Brazil. And if a nation is to be judged by the manner in which it treats its children, then Brazil comes out very, very poorly. Next, we have the lack of trust that threatens the Middle East peace agreement. An historic break with generations of killing and hatred, or a gigantic hoax on the people of Israel and Palestine. Either way you look at it, tomorrow's signing of a peace accord calls for a lot of trust. The first test, whether Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin shakes hands with his old enemy, PLO chairman Yasser Arafat. Tonight we talk with Professor Suad Amiri, one of the Palestinian negotiators who brokered the peace deal, and Zilman Cheval, a former Israeli ambassador to the US, with deep reservations about the whole affair. Professor, thanks for your time. Mr. Cheval, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Former Israeli ambassador to the US, Zilman Cheval. After the break, a sneak preview of the supermodels coming clean, what they eat to stay on top of the world. That's about all we have time for tonight. Tomorrow night, the diet secrets of the world's most beautiful women.
They have the super bodies that earn super admiration.
I choose the food that I eat very carefully. I hit the gym and I eat like a rabbit.
It's inspiring just to be healthy. I just have to start being more healthy, I think.
That's tomorrow night, what they eat. You eat the same, you'll look like them. We'll see you then. Good night.